I've been thinking a lot about what's happening in the world in general and what's happening to us personally, but it's less about anything that's happening in the world and more about our reactions to what's happening in our lives and in the world. And part of what I hear when I have these conversations with the Akashic record keepers is that we're so used to trying to maintain control as humans, that control is the thing that makes us feel safe. And when we lose control, many of us, most of us probably go into some level of fear, stress, concern, anxiety, because we don't know how to get control back. But what the record keepers keep saying is that if we really are going to raise our vibration, if we're going to move from dense humans who believe we have one life and one body into the multi-galactic beings we truly are, into owning our multi-dimensionality and owning the fact that we are infinite souls having this human experience right now, and in 100 years, we'll be having a very different human experience in a different body, or maybe in a different planet or dimension. Maybe we'll really have moved into living more in the multiverse, which I think would be quite cool. But what's happening is, as we get triggered by lack of control, our body, our personality, our ego get triggered because ego doesn't have control anymore. And when we lose that control and the ego loses control, it can trigger so much anger and fear and frustration. And I think that's a lot of what we're seeing in the world in so many different ways. This is not about judging a protest as right or wrong, or being vaccinated or not vaccinated. It's literally about the person, the ego, the personality, which is one part of the body. It has a contract with the soul. So the body and the soul make a contract to live and create this life here and now in this human earth plane dimension. So, of course, if the soul leaves, the body dies, usually, unless we could go down other roads with walk-ins and such. Sometimes we leave our body to another soul. One soul leaves, another one walks in. That's a walk-in. Anyway, but what we're focusing on is this dense three-dimensional plane, world, reality that we've been in for tens of thousands of years is trying to unravel. We are trying to unwrite the programs that created this dense earth. And if we can unwrite the program, release this program, which we often refer to as the matrix, it's really releasing a whole earthly encompassed program to move to a fourth dimension, to move to a fifth dimension, and on to the 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th. Can't wait till we can get back there. And I say back there because I know that we came from the 12th dimension, probably not for maybe millions of years on this, in this time dimension. But at some point, at one point, I can see it, feel it, remember it. I can't put a time frame to it because, right, that is outside of time and space. We were very awake, angelic beings on a beautiful planet. And then we dropped down and dropped down, energetically dropped down and dropped down again until we finally ended up in this third dimension. And we chose to do that so that we, as ancient wise souls, could learn more stuff. So we created this matrix. Nobody created it for us. We choose to come here gladly, as odd as it always seems to me, but gladly. And now we are choosing to deconstruct this earthly matrix so that we can raise up again and again until we can eventually, with the planet herself, Gaia herself also awakening, can move back very slowly, I'm sure, you know, hundreds of years, thousands of years, maybe it'll be quicker. But move back into the, at least let's get into the fifth dimension solidly, which will be a dimension where we can really, truly create and be the creator beings that we always have been. When we can own the ability to create and manifest really through will, well, through intention, well, it's more complicated than that because there's many levels and layers of it, but they're very energetic, and it takes having a very powerful solar plexus, third chakra, powerful, open heart center, heart chakra, being able to create these very powerful energies of love and heart's desire to create and manifest with much greater ease. And I know that by the time we've moved into this fifth dimension, we've ascended into these higher energetic realms that we're doing in these physical bodies right now. I know that by the time we get there, everything will be very different. And the interesting thing is much as I have these long conversations with the Akashic record keepers, they still say, we don't know exactly when or what it's going to look like, because we as this huge collective are in the process of creating what that world's going to look like. It isn't done. It's not someone's plan. It's the collective of all of humanity in our highest energetic forms coming together to create the new earth. And so I'm so excited to get there. And I know that we're in this 9-year cycle that will end in 2030. And I believe we will have laid a very strong foundation by 2030. And that will include a lot of humanity waking up, a lot of the kind of old bullshit getting sorted. And so the record keepers always like us to remind us to stay in our hearts, to do the best we can to stay aligned to love and compassion and forgiveness, and to not get into the fear story or get into judgment or, you know, move into these lower vibrational emotions that get triggered when our ego loses control. So if you're feeling scared, you're feeling frustrated, you're feeling out of control, just thank your ego for all it's ever done for you and just let it know, you know, it's okay. You could go off and hang out, do something else. You don't have to worry. You don't have to stay in control. You don't have to try and run my life. I'm good. I'm an ancient and wise soul. See how that works.